So we are doing a fun, kind of a weird video today. We're going to be going over my movies and my little Blu-ray collection. Now, of course, yes, obvious comment. Blu-rays are out of. Uh, you can do 8K and 16K, and you can do all this stuff. They're an outdated media. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have all this money where I can just replace my collection every time there's a new 8K or 16K. It's not how it works. But this is just going to be a fun video that I've always wanted to do. So in the interest of being integral and not just focusing on one section of the world, i.e. intellectual Gebser stuff, and we will be continuing and finishing the Jean Gebser series. We will also be continuing the Kill Rationalism series. All of the arguments, if you even want to call them that, in my Kill Rationalism Part 1, which, by the way, thank you all for watching. And if you're a new subscriber from that, you are the best. You're on the team now. Love you. None of them held up, and no amount of insisting um, will do that. So we will still be doing Jean Gebser series. Don't worry. I made that promise. I will fulfill it unless I die or I get my throat or my tongue cut out, which the rationalists might like. I will finish this. And then we'll also be doing the Kill Rationalism, all of that. But today, we're going to be going through my favorite movies. Why am I doing this? Because it's fun. And I'm sure you guys have, all of you watching this like film to an extent, even if you just have one favorite movie, even if it's just, I don't like movies except for this. So it could be fun. We could talk about, let me know what you guys think I would like. You guys are going to see my taste. I apologize in advance for that. Let me know what you think I should add. Now, of course, I'm expecting a big life change, which means I have to save money. So I will probably save it up for Christmas or get my mom and dad to give me some stuff. And if you guys really hate this, just let me know, I guess, in the comments. Maybe try to be nice about it, but you don't have to. And I guess we can stop, but hopefully you don't. And then I also have a bunch of a record collection as well. So if you guys want to talk music, that could be fun. And I have books, though. Many of the books I bought, I plan on reading later in life. So I've only read 20% of them. So that wouldn't be as fun. But okay, a couple disclaimers. One, I bought most of this. Now, a lot of this, I won't lie. Some of this I got for Christmas. I would put it on my list. I get, 10 to 12 a year. Now, that was back in the day when a Blu-ray costing $25 was exorbitant. Nowadays, you go into anywhere or just get it online, and it's like average $25. But I bought most of these with my own money. Now, like I said, I did not grow up poor, far from it. Having said that, I did not grow up rich either. Or I'm not rich, I should say. Um, so I can't I can't buy every movie. So that means two things. One, I'm never going to spend money on a movie that I think is just fine or average. Why would I do that? One, it saves me money. Two, it keeps my collection pure. So I can say I like all of these. All of these are good to an extent, except for one or two, which I'll explain. And then two, that means there are going to be a lot of other good movies that unfortunately I just have not purchased yet because I don't have the money. So I may have seen it, I just haven't bought it yet. Even though if I do see a movie and I really love it, I will buy it. I'll move mountains to do it. What else? You're not going to see a ton of horror in here. Okay, so this is slightly embarrassing to admit, but I would say for the first 25, 24, 25 years of my life, I had a phobic-like fear of horror films. Um, Now you can say, well, a phobic is an irrational fear, and horror by design is supposed to scare you, to induce a state of fear in you. So it's not a phobic. That is true. Having said that, it went beyond that. It went beyond the normal. Man, that movie was scary. I couldn't sleep for a night, and it was like I just couldn't do it. Like even at 16, even terrible horror movies, not the really cheap ones that are made for like $10,000 and have not those. Um, but even just bad horror movies, just absolutely terrifying. I couldn't sleep for a week. Um, so I decided that I was never going to watch horror films. And then one day I just hit me. I was like, "You're 25. You need to man up a little bit. You know how movies work. You like talking movies, so watch some horror." Um, what else? I'm not a completionist. So if I only like two movies out of the franchise, again, I have money, only so much of it, and I want to keep these pure. So I'm not going to buy the remaining five movies if they're terrible. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Obviously, we won't be going through the whole collection video. This will just be A through B today. And then, is there any other disclaimer? I don't think so. I'm sure if there are, I'll think of it on the way. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We are starting off with a banger. Adaptation. Yes, my favorite Charlie Kaufman film. Is it his best? Maybe, no, I don't know. There's a couple other films in this collection that are also as good. But this, by the way, Charlie Kaufman is one of the few, do I want to say this? One of a select amount of filmmakers who are postmodernists and know what they're doing. Now, postmodernists in philosophy, I think, is laughable. But when it comes to art, it can be good. Some of the postmodern cultural criticism is pretty good. Baudrillard, Deleuze, that's pretty good. But Foucault and stuff, that's nonsense. But adaptation is definitely meta. It's the only good meta movie, arguably, that I've seen. I don't love meta humor. I think it's style over substance. But this movie is amazing. Um, I don't even want to talk about the plot because it's just so awesome. I don't want to give away. Nicolas Cage is awesome. Nicolas Cage is great in this. He's not doing a Leaving Las Vegas or what's that one, the Wicker Man. He's not doing anything like that. He's playing it straight. He does a really good job. He's doing one of those, he has a twin brother, so he's acting against himself. Um, this is just an amazing movie. You need to watch this movie. I remember when I watched this the first time, it almost immediately went into my top 20 films of all time, and it stayed there. It's in there. Charlie Kaufman is the man, and this film. Also, Synecdoche, New York. That's another good one. We'll be talking about that later. I would start with this or Being John Malkovich. Don't go into Synecdoche, New York if you're new to Charlie Kaufman. That would be foolish. Do not do that. Okay, next up. History of Violence. This is a historical film, no pun intended, for one reason. This is one of the only films that I have ever seen that has a meaningful sex scene in it. All sex scenes in movies are terrible. They bring the story to a grinding halt. They're obligatory. My girl and I were watching just 2 nights ago. We watched When Harry Met Sally. I'd never seen it before. Harry, Sally start making out. Then it cuts to them in bed together with the sheets over them smoking a cigarette. So the mind goes, they made love. And the film improves because we didn't have to waste 15 minutes watching two actors have sex. If I wanted to do that, I'll go online. I don't want to watch that. Stop shoving sex scenes in movies. They're terrible. This is a good one, though. Because in this movie, Viggo Mortensen and Maria Bello, they make love, but they do it in an almost adolescent way. Like it's Maria Bello is wearing her old high school cheerleading, and it's very passionate and very full of love. Then later on in the film, they make love, if you even want to call it that. It really borderlines on assault. And they're doing it on the stairs. So of course, in the first time they're doing on the bed, things are even, they're equal. Then on the stairs, it's signaling character arc. Okay, this is what sex scenes are good for. Nothing else. There's a Korean movie called The Handmaid, and that's kind of what that movie was about. And what's it called? Eyes Wide Shut. I think those might be the only films in the history of cinema to have useful sex scenes. A complete waste of time. But this is a good movie. This is about Viggo Mortensen, who is sort of accused of living a double life. And the life that he wants to escape from, which was violent, is coming back to haunt him. And it affects his family. Viggo Mortensen's awesome in this. And Maria Bello is good. It's nice to see her in a good movie. I've only really seen her in Grown Ups, and I don't like that stuff. So definitely check out A History of Violence. Also, by the way, I want to speak a little bit about these movies. Some of these Blu-ray movies, collection videos, they just hold up the thing, but they don't say anything about it. It's like I'm not asking for a full-on review, but just a few sentences here and there. Next up, Alien. This movie was awesome. I am ashamed to say I waited like 24 years to watch this movie. I thought it was going to be boring. My mom was telling me for years that I had to watch Alien, and she was right. My mom has excellent taste. She put me on to a lot of these movies. I mean, what can you say about this movie that hasn't been said? I think Ridley Scott, especially when you compare it to what he's recently done. Now, I haven't seen Gladiator 2, and I probably never will. But Napoleon almost sent me to the hospital. Napoleon almost took my antidepressants and incinerated them. I mean, my God, what a terrible movie. But this is the complete opposite. Perfect. Beautifully directed, has a great job of inducing tension through patience. So Ridley builds mystery, and that's important. That's an aspect of the human condition that is not only powerful, Gebser magic consciousness structure, but is conducive to a good story. And that's what a lot of these modern movies don't really have that. I'm not entirely sure why. But I mean, Sigourney Weaver, all the crew is awesome. I can't remember any of the names. Ash, I think it was. Everyone loves Alien. Notice next up is not Aliens. I used to have Aliens, and then I realized I don't like this movie. I liked the tense, mysterious, almost scary horror aspect of Alien. The James Cameron, I'll have my 14-year-old nephew write the script, and then I'll just make sure the action scenes are really cool. I personally don't love that. Um, so I have Alien. I'm not a completionist. Next up, banger coming up, boys. All the President's Men. Yes. Now, this movie is about the Watergate scandal. It is about the journalists who had to investigate, and it covers this investigation. Tucker Carlson actually made a point. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I think he's disappointed me ever since his independent run, but nonetheless, he made a point that there was he posited a conspiracy theory. Now, I'm not against the idea of conspiracy theories in theory. The idea that powerful people collude with other powerful people to maintain or increase power, that's just a historical and they would do so almost extrajudiciously or out of sight. I mean, that's been around forever. But sometimes he just says so many that are just absurd. He said that I can't remember if it was Woodward or whatever, but Robert Redford's character, who's excellent in this, by the way, Robert Redford character in the movie, which I'm sure, and now obviously this is a fictionalization of what happened. But I can't imagine they just made this up. So in the movie, he's like this green rookie journalist who probably just graduated from like Columbia or something, and he's assigned with Dustin Hoffman, and Dustin Hoffman's the veteran reporter who doesn't want to work with the newbie. The problem is Deep Throat. Now, Deep Throat is the intelligence operative, I guess, or in modern times we would call it a member of the deep state, so to speak. He is essentially the whistleblower. So they call him Deep Throat because he's deep undercover, and two, he's Throat because in the movie it's just you don't see his face. You never see his face. You just hear him talk. So Throat. He is connected, of course, to Robert Redford's character. I have no idea how someone could be politically disconnected, a rookie journalist, and could have this high level of sources. I when he first told me that, I thought that's stupid. But then within like 10 seconds, I just thought, oh shit, how does he know? It was complete like mind blowing. But this movie is awesome. I mean, this is just 70s filmmaking at its best. The character dynamics are great. The characters start, Redford believes this, Hoffman believes this. By the second act, they switch. By the third act, they switch again. There's so many great scenes of them interviewing people and trying to investigate and it going nowhere. And there's comedic scenes and the political tension is great and all the acting is great. You guys must watch All the President's Men. As a movie, this movie is awesome. Please watch that movie. All right, next up, Almost Famous. Now, not quite as good as All the President's Men, but this is a solid movie. The only problem with this movie seems to be a problem with a lot of Cameron Crowe movies, is that every single possible subplot needs to be wrapped up in the most just kind of cheesy way possible. But that's kind of a nitpick. This is a movie about, it's actually kind of autobiographical. I think Cameron Crowe was when he was 13, he was able to go on a interviewing tour with all his bands, and that of course inspired him in this. This is a solid movie. It's definitely if you like rock. I like rock. Rap is great. Rap is my first love. I love rap, but I like rock too. This is kind of a love letter to that. It's pretty good. Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it. I love that they play the Stooges. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. And then this is also, I think, from what I've seen, what's her name? Kate Winslet? Is that her name? Yeah. No, not Kate Winslet. Um, Kate Hudson, that's what it is. I think this is one of her better roles. I think it's one of her more iconic roles, and overall pretty good. If it's on streaming, I would watch the other ones I mentioned first, but another banger. Amadeus. Now, this is the director's cut, so 20 minutes of additional footage. I assume that means it's better. Please, please do not make the same mistake I made and listen to your mother recommend this awesome movie for like 5 years and then look at it and go, this looks boring and snooty and I don't want to watch this and I don't care about Mozart. So, no, I'm not going to watch that. Do not do that. This movie is amazing. This movie is on the surface about Mozart. What this movie is really about is envy, resentment, and bitterness. And what's his name? Who's the other guy who plays F. Murray Abraham? By the way, he totally reminds me of Daniel Day-Lewis. Kind of looks like him, acts like him. Brilliant, brilliant in this movie. This movie is excellent. It's such a great character study of a bitter, resentful man and where that will get you. Someone who is incapable of appreciating his own talent and always is comparing him to the most exceptional of them all, Mozart. I mean, this is the king of kings here in this world. But Solari, I think that's his name, has talent and respect in his own right, but he can't appreciate that. This movie is amazing. I love everything about it. The dialogue is amazing. I love the character arcs. I love the ending. Please watch this. Please do not make the same mistake I did. American Beauty. I don't have too much to say on this one. I haven't watched it in probably 28 now. It's probably been 10 years since I watched this. I remember liking Kevin Spacey in it. I remember when I watched it the first time, I hadn't watched a ton of movies, and I remember thinking to myself, I can't tell if that's pretentious or if that's mocking pretentiousness. So I guess I'll have to rewatch to find out myself. But I remember the midlife crisis. I remember thinking, I really don't want to have that life. I don't want to do what Kevin Spacey does, either in real life or in this movie. American Fiction. This is a recent movie. I try to balance this collection with old movies, which are obviously great, but with newer ones. This is good. I love Jeffrey Wright. Ever since I saw Jeffrey Wright in The French Dispatch, I was like, yes, this guy is fire. He's great in this. This is a really great, heartwarming film. And I think this is a film you could watch with your family. You could watch with your parents. Now, I'm pretty politically involved, and I don't like a particular bent injected into art, a particular political ideology injected into art. And I don't like it. Nonetheless, this sort of lampoons that, and it sort of makes fun of the Robin DiAngelos of the world, which I think is funny. And it's clever, and it does kind of cop out in the end. I was a little disappointed about that. It does get a little meta, but not in a good adaptation Charlie Kaufman way. It's not perfect, and also I don't know if it's the mother or grandmother character. She falls in love with someone else. It sounds like I just spoiled something, but I didn't because it goes absolutely nowhere. It's still fun to watch. The actors did a really good job, and they're really sweet people, so it's all right. American Graffiti. This is a good one. I watched this maybe 7-8 months ago. It tested me in the beginning. The first act, I was like, okay, what are we doing? I don't particularly care about these guys. But as it went on, I was like, okay, this is going. First of all, it's a hangout movie. You could see why something like Dazed and Confused, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, stuff like that, was kind of inspired by this. Harrison Ford is in this. I think this might even be his debut role. Ron Howard is in this, a very young Ron Howard. George Lucas, this is what he did before Star Wars, so I can imagine this is probably good practice for understanding how to make a film. And the fact that I think this is his debut, it's pretty great. It got me in the end. It's just a great time capsule as well. That's 60s or 50s, I think it was. I'm never, obviously I didn't grow up in that time. I grew up in the internet age, so this is really cool. I like seeing all the cars and the fashion and all that stuff. This is a great movie. If you're a Star Wars fan, you haven't seen this, check this out. You can see Harrison Ford too. He looks good in this too. American History X. There's some good memes on this. All right, there's some good memes on this. This is pretty good. I never loved Edward Furlong. Edward Norton, on the other end, is great. The character arc is pretty good. I think I like the way he sort of stops choosing to be a racist because he essentially gets out of his head. He experiential knowledge is overriding his grand narratives about the deficiencies of other races. But good movie. There's definitely some violent scenes, definitely some iconic scenes, particularly the curb stomp scene. Edward Norton's really great in this. I think it's one of his best. Edward Norton has this reputation for being this kind of high class artsy fartsy actor, and he's only does good stuff. And this is good. I own it. And he did Fight Club and a couple others, but besides that, there's not too much. This next one's a fun one. It might not be like the best. I love this movie, American Made by Tom Cruise. Now, again, this isn't this isn't Paris, Texas, or anything like that. Oh, speaking of, I have Criterion too. So if you're wondering, where's all his cool movies that he pimps out to women at the bar to get laid, and like where are all his under obscure movies that he pimps out to prove his superiority over people? That'll be coming at the very end. But this is about Barry Seal, who's a real person, and he worked with the CIA to. It was the oh god, Oliver North. I don't know. It was Iran Contra. That's what it was. Excuse me, the Iran Contra scandal. So essentially, I think what it was, the CIA wanted to do their own intelligence operations. Now the CIA has their power hungry. We all know, but they couldn't fund it. So what they did was they got involved in the drug trade, and they just used that cash. So when Barry Seal and Pablo hooked up, and then they caught Barry Seal and they said, "No, we're not going to throw you in jail. We want you to keep doing this. We just want you to do this for us." And that's kind of the plot of this movie. So it's him constantly going back from, I think it's from like Oklahoma. There's actually a reference to Bill Clinton in there. Oh, it's Arkansas. That's what it is because he's the governor of Arkansas. Um, and there's some cool scenes. This is a fun movie. This is one you can kind of turn your brain off. It's not trying to make some big statement. Tom Cruise is great. He's playing himself, but I mean, he is very charming. If you look at the real Barry Seal, let's just say I'm sure he's happy that they had someone as handsome as Tom Cruise doing that. I think it ends well. I think the side characters are not the best, but also kind of funny too. So check that one out. All right, now this next one's interesting. Look at this. It's all beaten up. This has to be one of my first 20 Blu-rays, which means it has something. I think that's why I haven't replaced it. This is American Psycho, of course. Now, this movie is pretty amazing. I understand that it's become memed, and I do like the memes. I like the Sigma male memes if they're funny, of course. Some of them are just cringe. But I think generally they're pretty funny. You don't need to remake this. Luca Guadagnino is, I believe, remaking this. Please don't. Please don't. Especially if it's just going to be some bitter, spiteful thing because it's turned into a meme and you don't like the people who are creating and sharing the memes. Mary Herron did a perfect job on this. There is nothing to be improved. Who are you going to improve? Mary Herron's direction? Nope. Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman? Nope. Willem Dafoe as the investigator? Nope. Reese Witherspoon as the dumb blonde broad who just kind of injects herself with crack? No. Why? It's already good as it is. No one's saying it's the best movie ever. I understand this movie's kind of taken on a life of its own. But if you remove all that stuff, this is a damn good movie. And the direction by Mary Herron is great. Please watch this. And also, if you're going to watch this, don't take this 100% seriously. This is a kind of a satire black comedy thing. If you're thinking to yourself, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Yes. Christian Bale. This might be Christian Bale's best performance. He really does nail it. He understands the character. He understands the assignment. He understands I am acting not a real person, but a over the top caricature of an idea of greed, of this sort of Wall Street capitalist greed. That's what he is, and he's great in this. Good movie. Amoros Paros, a bit of a downer. This is Inyarri too. I always get him in Alfonso Cuarón and stuff. This was pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to rewatch it that much. I believe this is the one with the dog fighting. Solid Spanish movie. I like Iñárritu. We're going to get to his best. Actually, we'll get to his best movie, in my opinion, in this video. But this is a solid. If you're interested in things like Revenant or some of his other films, check this out. Anchorman. This is the duality of man here, people. We got dog fighting in Mexico. Anchorman. What is there to say about Anchorman? Is it the funniest movie I've ever seen? Probably not. Is it? If you don't like Will Ferrell and that kind of humor, you're not going to like this. But I mean, here's the obligatory: they don't make them like they used to, and studios are afraid, and the comedians we have nowadays are incapable of doing something like this. Don't even think about telling me Shane Gillis. Okay, if we went back to the '90s, you would not be able to tell Shane Gillis, pick him out of a lineup. All right. Great cast too, by the way, all-star cast, and there's so many great quotes. I mean, everyone loves Anchorman. Animal House. I'll try to be a little quicker because this is already getting long. Animal House. Everyone loves Animal House. I won't say much about this movie because it's kind of a classic. The scene where the guys, the frat, they have to argue their case to the college board, and when he makes the logical argument that the trial he's in is a injustice and it's a sham and it's unfair to what's his name, Belushi's character. He's saying this is wrong, this is terrible, and he's saying, well, if that's terrible, we're indicting our school, our college has been indicted because there's no justice, and if that's the case, the education system has been indicted, and if that's the case, the entire country. That would be me if I was a lawyer. Be like, listen, Your Honor, all right, this would make Plato and Socrates kill themselves. You have to let my client go. This is a great movie. I don't care what anyone says. Annie Hall. Now, Woody Allen as a person, I would never defend. And some of his movies, I've liked pretty much all of them. Manhattan was weird, and I think anyone who knows, it was really well made, but it was weird, so I couldn't buy it. But Annie Hall's great. I love pretty much everything about it. This is another one of those meta ones that is pretty good. I think Woody knows what he's doing. He doesn't use it too much. He was one of the first to do it. And this is kind of I like this movie because I don't love romance. I think obligatory love stories are terrible. I have a few exceptions, and this is one of them. So that's how you know this is a good movie. Woody plays this neurotic, I think he's a filmmaker or a playwright or something like that, who's just constantly in his own head, paralysis by analysis. And then he falls in love with Diane Keaton, who might not be as intelligent or as knowledgeable as Woody Allen's character, but is way more fun to be around. And by the way, if you are a fan of the show Friends, Phoebe, yeah, watch this and have your mind blown, my friend. She's just doing a Diane Keaton ripoff. It's a little sad, but that's where she got it from. Banger. Apocalypse Now. Yes. And if you watch the documentary about the making of this, Hearts of Darkness, great documentary, okay? Francis Ford Coppola was having heart attacks out here. And this movie's awesome. It could have been so bad. It could have been seriously one of the worst movies of all time. But this movie is so awesome. It might not be perfect. There might be scenes that kind of go on a little bit, and you're kind of wondering, what does it have to do with anything? But all the cast is great. Young Lawrence Fishburne is great. Martin Sheen's great. Marlon Brando is pretty good. His character is weird, especially once you learn behind the scenes. But this is just a classic war film. The opening and the ending are excellent. What else is there to say about Apocalypse Now? That I actually want to rewatch it. I love that movie. That movie's awesome. Argo. This one's good. Solid movie. Cool story. They did a sufficient job with the tension. Now, this is a story about I don't know if it's in Jerusalem or somewhere in the Middle East, I believe. It's some sort of rescue mission. They're rescuing someone from the embassy, or they're doing something. So in order to create a front as to why they're even there in the first place, they are making a movie. It's called Argo. It's a sci-fi something. So they pretend they're making the movie, and they have to save whoever it is. And Ben Affleck actually directed this. And it's pretty good as far as actors directing movies go. Two, as far as that actor being Ben Affleck. Besides that, it's pretty good. It's sufficient. Alan Arkin borderline steals this movie. Alan Arkin is excellent in this movie. And it's sufficient. When I'm running out of room for on my shelf and I want new movies, I could see this making the chopping block. But overall, solid time. Arrival, saw this in theaters. Denis Villeneuve, pretty good. I don't think it's his best. We'll get to his best later on in this sort of series. Jeremy Renner is good. It's good to see him in something good besides The Town, which he's awesome in, and the Marvel movies. Amy Adams, do you remember the run from 2008? And it probably ended around this year. From 2008 to 2016, Amy Adams was on a legendary run. Whether it's The Master, whether it's this, whether it's Doubt, whether it's trust me, okay? Whether it's The Fighter. It was good. With Villeneuve, you kind of expect some sort of twist with the storytelling or some sort of play on it. It was good. It was a little plotting, and I like that it's showed a realistic understanding of communication and the difficulties of just basic communication with another species. It was cool, not his best, but solid movie. Okay, so this is Jesse James, The Assassination of Jesse James. This Wyatt Earp movie I only bought because I could not buy Jesse James by itself, respectively. So my girlfriend and I, now this Wyatt Earp is like 3 hours long, I think it is. Watch this, and Kevin Costner plays Wyatt Earp. We turned it off out of pure laughter when it was that long shot of a redheaded, makeup drenched Kevin Costner to look like a young 12-year-old redhead boy with his stupid smile and doing the horses. It was just so absurd and cringe that we just turned it off. But The Assassination of Jesse James is pretty good. It's not amazing. I like that it was adapted, but it's an adaptation of a novel, so the narration has that sort of descriptive element of the novel, the sort of flowery writing. Because of course, a lot of times when you adapt a book into a movie, you miss that. That's one of the problems, but they do this. Brad Pitt's good. I don't know how often I'm going to rewatch this. Casey Affleck was pretty good. He was definitely whiny, and some nice shots, but overall solid. Baby Driver. We gotta love Edgar Wright. Now this is my grandmother, my Yaya, Greek. This is her kind of movie. I knew I played this for her. I knew she would like it. This is awesome. The opening intro where they sync, uh, what's his name? Ansel or Baby is lip syncing to the song actually playing in the background, and as they're doing that, they're sort of syncing. He's walking through the streets of the city, and different aspects of the buildings, the windows also sync with the music. It's really just brilliant filmmaking, I think, at least for this kind of movie. What's there to say about Edgar Wright? I think this is good. I like Lily James in this. I like the cast. I don't think it's his best, but it's just a rock solid Edgar Wright movie. Funny, great pacing, great filmmaking, great action as always. Edgar Wright is the man. Oh, this movie is awesome. Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel, okay? This character, I think, is the most purposefully unlikable and, oh my, he's everything. I talk about an anti-hero. He's everything you would not want your hero to be. He sleeps around on his wife. He's shooting up heroin, snorting coke, banging prostitutes, ripping off innocent people, throwing people in jail who don't deserve it, planting stuff, disrespecting sacred religious stuff. He's just a complete piece of crap. And you see his sort of slight redemption as it goes. He's a terrible father, too. But Harvey Keitel, this is one of his best performances. Kills it in this movie. It's kind of a Catholic redemption story, and I'm not Christian or anything like that, but from that perspective, it's pretty cool. I would highly recommend this. It's gritty, it's dark, it's dirty, and Harvey Keitel is a magnet in this. Please watch this movie. Now, the Nicolas Cage remake of this is hilarious, but for different reasons. That's because Nicolas Cage is going full Cage. The Banshees of Inisherin. This is a good one. I love Martin McDonagh. He's one of my favorite directors. I love Colin Farrell. Love Brendan Gleeson in this. I love this sort of allegory of the troubles in Ireland, quite literally. And I love the extremes that Brendan Gleeson goes to. And I just love the way and I love Martin McDonagh's dry, dark humor. I think it totally connects with me. Everything about this movie is awesome. I think it was 2019, so a relatively new one. Please go watch that. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. This is a fun one. Now, this is directed by Sidney Lumet. Now, Sidney Lumet, I believe, it might be Lumet or something, I believe, is one of my favorite directors ever. I want you to think of this line I'm about to tell you, okay? 12 Angry Men, the original. That alone is good enough. Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, Network, which is a banger. All those I just said are bangers. Network, The Verdict, and now this. And I believe A Murder on the Orient Express, the original. I mean, one of the best to ever do it, and I don't understand why he's not brought up more. But this is a cool movie. This is where Ethan Hawke and Philip Seymour Hoffman, they're brothers, and they decide to rob their own parents' jewelry store. Now, of course, they believe that it'll just be insured, and the insurance will cover it. Things go wrong. Be Kind, Rewind. This is a great movie. This is a movie that exists to propagate the love of film. This is a movie about film, a film about film, film appreciation. What happens is all the movies in the world, because of some electrical shock that Jack Black, I think, does, it wipes out all the tapes. So we've lost all this great culture. So they recreate the movies like Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Back to the Future, and these sort of just really low budget indie stuff. It's really great. Jack Black is great in this. Mos Def. This was the first time I saw Mos Def. I love him as a rapper. I mean, as a rapper, he's one of the best to ever do it. But I didn't realize he was actually a pretty good actor. And this is a fun movie. You can watch this with your mom, with your family. This is a wholesome movie. Great movie. Belfast. The only time a director has directed his childhood and it has actually been good. The Fablemans, don't even bother. Licorice Pizza, don't even bother. Please. This is an awesome movie. I was kind of dreading this going in. Now, my girlfriend is Irish, so she really wanted me to watch this. I was like, at least it's short. I don't mind black and white or any of that stuff, but it's really just about a family who's struggling and a man who's trying to navigate all this trouble, pun intended, in his family and in the outer world. And it's sort of a story about love, familial love, and persisting even in tough times because you have those you love and raising the next generation to improve the lot, not ruin it. Really beautiful film. This is actually way better than I thought it was going to be. All right, so we're in B's officially. Best in Show. Now, this is kind of a funny offbeat. My mom put me onto this one. I was a little disappointed. Obviously, I liked it enough to buy it, but the way she described it, it was as if this was going to be like my favorite comedy of all time. It's not. It's got that mockumentary style. It's good. It makes you laugh. It sort of lampoons the snobbish Westminster dog show. Yes, of course. Yeah, we got it. Also, Chuck from Better Call Saul. Chuck is in here. He's good at it too. Hey man, I can get you a toenail by 4. Big Lebowski. Everyone loves the Big Lebowski. I almost think it's a little overrated. I don't think it's like the best comedy of all time. I do enjoy it. I don't think it's the best Coen brother movie either. But John Goodman in this movie, holy crap. I mean, talk about a career-defining performance. He was so funny in this, and so is Steve Buscemi. And then Jeff Bridges is great in this too. Notice that in a lot of the dude, his sort of relativism and his sort of, well, if it's not harming anyone and if it doesn't affect you, that's kind of become a little more prominent in our society. I like watching a movie about a stoner loser, but I don't want our society to turn into them. So, this is a classic. I love Julianne Moore too. Julianne Moore's one of my favorite actresses. She's amazing, and everyone knows The Big Lebowski. Everyone's good. The Big Short. This is a fun movie. I understand why someone wouldn't like this movie. I don't love Adam McKay. Some of his comedies are okay. But the style is definitely prominent. So if you don't like it, I understand that. But I like the cast. I like the subject. I like that they broke it down for the most part. Brad, everyone's good in this. Steve Carell's excellent in this. He plays kind of like a righteous jerk. So his whole point is he is on the morally righteous side of things, but the way he delivers it is so off-putting and mean that you're kind of negating your best interest there. But in fairness to him, people like to cope. So when you're in the right and you're criticizing them and you are in the right to criticize them, and let's say you do it in a loud or harsh way, what they'll say is, well, if you would have just been nice about it, then I would have been more receptive. So you get, okay. So 2 months later, things happens again, and you're nice and receptive about it, and then they just persistently refuse to acknowledge anything. And then you raise your voice and you say, no, this is wrong. And they go, well, why wouldn't you be nice to me? Okay, that's kind of how I feel. This is what Steve Carell's going through. Like, no, don't tell me that my tone is off when the world is falling. Okay, get over it. Christian Bale's awesome in this. I like the music. This is just a solid movie. Marissa Tomei, love me some Marissa Tomei. The Birdcage, R.I.P. Gene Hackman. Okay, Gene Hackman in this is hilarious. Do you remember? He plays I guess a Republican conservative politician. Do you remember the name of his little political group? It's called the Conservation of Moral Order. I've seen it once. I still think about that to this day. It's such a perfect politician thing, like especially a right wing one too. Moral order. it's like you might as well just call yourself the good guy party and the other team the bad guy party. This is kind of a movie just about acceptance of those who are not normal, those who are of a different sexuality, different lifestyle. I'll kind of let you guys be the judge of that yourself. But from a movie perspective, this is good. This is another one my mom recommended. Was it Nathan Lane? He was good too. I don't think I've seen him in anything since. I know my girlfriend likes him in some movies. So Robin Williams is great in this too. I like Robin Williams for the most part. Some people really love him, but um, I think he's good. He's all right. He's just relax. Now I'm actually going to skip ahead here, and I'll tell you why. So now we are one of my top five, maybe. I think I'd have to go back and do it, but for a long time, this is in my top five films of all time. It's definitely in my top 10 films of all time. Birdman. It is Inarritu's best. I do love some of his others. I don't want to spoil. This movie is perfect. The only nitpick there's two tiny nitpicks that I will accept. The critic character, I kind of get it. I kind of get what you're saying. It's a little on the nose. And that Edward Norton's character just kind of disappears. That's it. Everything else, this movie is phenomenal. I remember watching this in theaters and just actually, you know what? When I watched it in the theaters the first time, this was right when I was getting into movies, like the first year. I thought that was good. That was definitely different. And then I watched it again, and I was like, no, that was great. And then I watched it again, and then again, and I was like, this is a masterpiece. This film is a masterpiece. The way it's shot, the way it appears to be, no cuts. The acting is amazing. Michael Keaton gives the best performance of his life. Edward Norton gives my favorite performance of his career in this. I loved Edward Norton as an actor in this, and I loved his character. His character was hilarious. Emma Stone. I love Emma Stone. Who doesn't love Emma Stone? She's great in this. I can't remember her name, but Holly from The Office is good in this. Zach Galifianakis, Alan from The Hangover, is excellent in this movie. Please go watch this. It's about a actor. It's very meta too. It's about Michael Keaton, of course, played Batman, but in the film he plays Birdman. He's a washed-up actor back in the day, and now he wants to prove to himself that he is an artist. He is someone who should be taken seriously. So he is going to adapt a Raymond Carver play, and then of course his life kind of mirrors this play, and it gets into all this stuff. I cannot stress to you how much I love this movie. I think this movie is incredible. 2014, by the way. What a year for film, because that is incredible. Please go watch. So many iconic scenes, lines. I think about this movie all the time. Please go watch this. I love this movie. And if you like 1917, this is infinitely better than that. Now, why did I skip ahead? So we have one of the best movies I've ever seen, one of my favorites. And then we have Birdemic. Now, if you're familiar with this is literally, I don't use that word lightly. I have waged war, a one-man war, even though now I have a team of subscribers, thank you guys, against rationalists. I'm hoping to win that war. I have waged a one-man war against the word literally, and I have been soundly defeated. So when I use that word, it means something. Literally, the worst movie I've ever seen. But it's hilarious. I mean, this movie is, first of all, when you put it in and it starts playing, the opening 10 to 12 minutes is just driving around these random back roads in like Pennsylvania. But it's like if you gave it to your half blind friend in the passenger seat and then you kept punching him as he was recording. Like it's just this sort of completely unartistic, just random. And it's like, what are we doing? And then it goes for like 10 to 12 minutes and no one said anything because we're just watching this like schizophrenic or this paraplegic record the road. So when the first line of dialogue comes, it's in a diner and the dub is off. It's not in sync with what is actually said. Oh my God, me and my buddies, we laughed so hard it woke my parents up. This movie, if you want to crack some beers with your buddy and you guys like ripping on bad movies, this is worse than The Room. This is worse than The Room. I'm comfortable defending that. The Room is overrated. You don't need to watch The Room. Watch the clips on YouTube. The rest of The Room is terrible. It's boring. All right. Blade Runner, the final cut, and Blade Runner 2049. This might be on the chopping block. I did not love Blade Runner, the final cut. I know. I'm supposed to say that I did and lie and show how cool I am, but no, I did not. I did not think Harrison Ford was good at, excuse me, was good in it. I did not. I like the aesthetics. The aesthetics were cool. I like the dystopian stuff, the gray, the blue. I like all that stuff, and I like the idea. I like the creativity around it, and the villain. The villain was awesome, and the tears in the rain, excellent, excellent. But besides that, just was not emotionally attached. I just did not care. I did not think Harrison Ford was interesting or good. Blade Runner 2049 is very similar. So the problem with Denis Villeneuve films, for me personally, is when he gets to a bigger and bigger budget, as the budget increases, for whatever reason, my emotional attachment to the film and the characters decreases. So we're going to talk about some of his other earlier films, which I prefer, because for whatever reason, I just care more about them. I think he's in his wheelhouse. Now, when it comes to his big blockbuster ones like Dune and all that stuff, they're beautiful and they're expertly crafted. I would never deny that. And I love listening and looking at them, but there's just this detachment there, and I don't know why. So we'll see. It was a solid movie. Harrison Ford was really good in this one. I will say. I will give him credit for that. Ryan Gosling was excellent. Jared Leto. This was good. This was right after Suicide Squad. He needed a real performance, and when he tries, he can be a good actor. And Ana de Armas, I forgot she was in this. So if you're into it and you haven't seen her for whatever reason, check it out. I guess Black Swan. It's good to see Natalie Portman in something. Natalie Portman's pretty good. This is a good movie. I like Darren Aronofsky for the most part. I know some people don't like him. I don't like all of his films. Don't tell my girlfriend this. I hate The Fountain. She loves that movie. Oh, that movie is terrible. But he also did The Wrestler. I love that movie. So Black Swan. It's a movie about attaining perfection. That's what this is about. It's about ballet, but what it really is, it's about the cost of attaining perfection, and can you even attain perfection? Is it worth it to attain perfection? Um, Everything's about it. Great. Mila Kunis is actually giving a real performance in this. She's not just looking pretty for the camera. Um, Everything's great. It's not too long. I like the writing. I like the acting. It's to a certain extent. If you've seen this before, we're not necessarily reinventing the wheel with this one, but for what it is, it's pretty good. Okay, Blazing Saddles. This is a great movie. I will say it's a little overrated. Some of you boomers like to describe this as the greatest movie of all time, like number one out of a trilogy, or greatest comedy movie of all time. Excuse me. I wouldn't go that far. That's a bit. We're actually going to get there in a second. You're going to judge me for my pick. I wouldn't go that far. But this is a fun movie. Okay, the joke about the brand new mayor and the joke that they make with him was absolutely hilarious. I was not expecting that. And I like the Kansas City slur joke. This is a fun movie. Mel Brooks, good, definitely worth watching, definitely worth owning. Not the greatest comedy of all time. Slow down. Blue Valentine. This is not a Valentine. Blue Valentine. Basic symbolism. Okay, don't be a rationalist. Blue Valentine. This is a good movie, and there is a scene in this movie that has stuck in my head. It is when there's a question about the father of an impending child of Michelle Williams' character, and Michelle Williams' ex goes up and beats up Ryan Gosling's character, and he says, "Your baby girl's going to be calling me daddy." And if someone said that to me, I'm not kidding. I think I would murder them, and that's not a good thing. And I'm not trying to appear tough. That would be a wrong thing to do, and I would be in jail. Nonetheless, if that person said that to me, I would dedicate my life to destroying theirs. Having said all that, this is a good movie. It's a little. I don't love the breakup stuff. I don't love this idea that there's no real love and all this is just this sort of everything. We're just waiting for things to collapse and break apart, and we no longer love each other. It's good. It's a good movie, but I don't know if I'm going to rewatch it again. Boiler Room. This is a fun one. Real ones know that Vin Diesel was good in this movie. I don't like Vin Diesel. I think Vin Diesel's trash, but he was good in this. So is Giovanni Ribisi. This is a movie, kind of the Wolf of Wall Street. This is like the dog of Wall Street. And it's about insider trading and stocks and all that stuff. So, of course, Giovanni Ribisi is this sort of new rookie, bright-eyed, no, let's do the right thing. And then you see him corrupt himself based on the system around him, based on the people around him, and then he, of course, has to face the consequences. This is a fun movie. You should watch this movie. It's not too long. All the acting is really good. Giovanni Ribisi is really good, and so is Vin Diesel. Solid movie. Definitely a solid movie. Bonnie and Clyde, an old one. This is a fun one. Faye Dunaway's great. I think when Faye Dunaway is in a good movie, she's usually pretty good. Network, this, Chinatown, of course. So when she's on, she's on. Not an amazing movie. I think the sex scene in this movie. Now I realized that the sex scene in this movie, it was so awkwardly filmed that I had to think, oh, there must be something going on here. And I realized, oh, they're trying to show that the guy's like impotent or he's had problems with that. Okay, but this is just a classic story of bonding fine. Two lovers who decide to rob banks, and they're young, they're in love, and they kill people, as they say on the front cover. This is a good one. Another one of those, unfortunately, where it's kind of just Goodfellas, but in a different domain, but still good. Boogie Nights. Paul Thomas Anderson, not his best. We'll get there. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but Mark Wahlberg's great in this. I love Dirk Diggler. I think that is the funniest name ever. I should name my channel that. I think it's great. Everyone's in the. Burt Reynolds is actually good in this. He's getting Smokey and the Bandit too. That's about. Actually, he was getting Deliverance. But I think it's hilarious that Burt Reynolds wants to trash this movie as if he regrets making it. It's so bad. Oh, I don't care what you boo. I've seen what you cheer. You've been doing a bunch of trash films where now this is actually a good one and you want to trash it. This is unfortunately, this is like Goodfellas and porn. So, if you're not interested in that, but if you are, and I love Goodfellas, check that out. Definitely a good movie. Mark Wahlberg's good in that too. What's this? All right, the Bourne trilogy. I haven't watched this in so long. But these are fun movies, action movies, just solid action movies. If you don't like, I think there's Greengrass or whatever his name is, Saul Green or whatever. The director, he has a very particular kind of shaky cam, handheld camera way of viewing things. If you don't like that, you will probably not like this. But Matt Damon's good. It's nice to see him in an action star. It's good to watch. Everyone kind of talks about these movies, but I don't really have a huge desire to rewatch them. If he rides, like Doughboy to Trey. Good movie. In my opinion, there is a glaring problem in this movie, and that is Ice Cube. Ice Cube is very clearly showing off to the cameras. We get it, Ice Cube. You're tough. You're a gangster. No one can step to you. I got it. I've never been a fan of Ice Cube as an actor. As a rapper, he's one of the best to ever do it. Almost painfully underrated in a sense, and very influential, but as an actor, not so much. Now, this is a solid movie. I actually prefer another movie that we'll get to in another video, but this is a story about just kind of life in the hood and the perils of that, and the costly mistakes, the lost loves, the sort of and I love Lawrence Fishburne's character. It really is a great testimony to having a good father, which I think is important. And solid movie. Everyone knows this movie. Ricky, gotta watch it if you're a movie guy. Braveheart. I have not seen this in so long. I won't lie to you. Now, obviously, this movie is not accurate. I mean, there's been 3-hour-long videos made about um, about all the inaccuracies. Mel Gibson's good. I say I don't have much to say. I've never seen it in a while. It seems a little cheesy, but I don't know, guys. This has been on the chopping block for a while, but every time I want to give it up, I'm thinking it is The Breakfast Club. It is a classic. It's not that it's bad. It's just so corny. And look, I'm not a big fan of the 80s aesthetic. So I just don't love the music. It sounds incredibly dated, sounds incredibly cheesy and corny. There are always exceptions in this. Always, of course. These are professionals. And I don't love the movies. There are exceptions to this. But this is kind of one of them. It's a little corny. It's a little cheesy. And I have a feeling when my shelf space runs out, I'm going to be getting rid of it. All right. Now, you guys are going to judge me for this one, but I don't care. Brokeback Mountain. This is a good movie. It's not conducive to a ton of rewatches. It's slow. It's long. But as far as love stories go, I mean, again, and that's another thing. I don't love love stories, whether they're straight or gay. Good movie. Solid movie. Jake Gyllenhaal's good. Ang Lee directed this. The shots are beautiful. You can just turn it on and stare at it, and you're just like, damn, that's a good shot. I like the character arcs. It takes its time. It feels earned. You feel invested in the characters. And if you're worried about, I don't know, any of the gay stuff in this, just know that you see Anne Hathaway's perfect breasts in this. She's like 24. Now, this is a cool one. Bronson. I love Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy was the OG man crush. And this is one of the reasons why. There's actually the movie Warrior that got me. But this is a good movie. Despite it being short, I think it slows down in the second half, which is frustrating. The first act of this movie is really great. I remember just being super invested. Then it slowed down. Now, this is a Nicholas-winning Refn film, so it's not going to be your traditional, I don't know, Marvel movie or just any traditional movie. It's going to have all this weird stuff. It's going to be symbolic. I think he hits right that sweet spot on this one. I've only seen parts of God Forgives. I don't, or Only God Forgives. I didn't love that. That was a little much. That was a little. But this one's good. Tom Hardy is a rock star in this, and it's just about Charles Bronson and his crazy prison life. The dude was just a monster. Check that out if you're into some weird stuff. Okay, you're gonna judge me on this one, and I don't care. This movie is the funniest movie I have ever seen. No movie has made me laugh this hard upon first watch, and it has made me laugh this hard upon multiple rewatches. Every single time I watch this movie, I laugh. That movie, I don't care if you judge me, actually. I don't care. Bruno. Okay, this is the unofficial sequel to Borat. I used to say it was the like a sequel to Borat, but then they actually made a sequel to Borat. This movie is insane. Also insane. My dad, when it was released, I believe it was like '07 or '06. I was like 10 or 11. My dad had no idea about this movie. He had no idea. So he went to go take me and my brother to the movies. He was probably 7. And we went and watched this movie. We got 20 minutes in, and if you've seen this movie, you know it's not appropriate for children. And then after 20 minutes, he was like, "All right, we gotta go." But I remember me and my brother just howling. And there's a lot of weird stuff in this, a lot of like sex stuff and not straight stuff. But it is so funny. There are so many scenes that are just absolutely the like Jerry Springer scene where he shows up his new baby with his African name OJ. Um, the scene where he goes out into the military or goes out into the forest with all the hunters and he starts eating. The ending or the scene with the Christian gay conversion guy. And it makes it funnier when you realize that none of the people are in on it. So of course, obviously Sacha Baron Cohen and then his little assistant in the film, they're in on it. But that's it. Everyone else that he's interacting with, they're not scripted characters. Those are real people giving genuine reactions, and that's what makes this so funny. That is what makes this so funny. I think this movie. No one will agree with me on this, but this is the funniest movie I've ever seen. I think it's hilarious, and it does make points. It kind of lampoons the sort of hyper um, outrage over like gay stuff. It's pretty good. This is a really cool movie too. Buffalo '66. Vincent Gallo, a little bit of a weirdo. Okay, I think he's a Nazi. But this movie's awesome. So Vincent Gallo just plays a piece of crap, and he's going to go kill a guy. He bet all his money on the Browns or the Broncos or something. And of course they miss, and they miss on a last-second field goal that the kicker missed the attempt. So now he's going to go kill that kicker because you cost him all his money. So it's obviously this irrational thing. And then of course he's talking to his parents, and he's worried. I think he's coming out of jail. He's been lying to them, and he says he has a girlfriend. He's doing okay. So he kidnaps Christina Ricci, who is an angel, by the way, in this movie. She is a goddess, a celestial body, a celestial being come down from the heavens. And he forces her to be his girlfriend for show. And then she starts to like him. I have no idea why, but he kind of refuses, and then it kind of becomes a love story. But it's good though. It's not some bull crap soap opera. It's good. It's kind of gritty, and Vincent Gallo directed it, and I like his direction. All the shots were cool, and I like the bowling alley scene. That was good. This is an awesome movie. You got to watch this movie. If you're into film, you got to check this out. This movie's great. All right, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I will say I watched it, but I don't remember a ton from it. I remember the scene where Paul Newman gets on it. He shoots at the target, he misses, and then he gets on this horse and he just starts knocking him over. That was cool. Robert Redford's great. This is just a classic Western, baby. I mean, get the girl, kill the bad guys, save the good guys. Great stuff. We are coming to the end, boys and girls. Caddyshack. Everyone loves Caddyshack. Remember when he hits the golf ball and Rodney Dangerfield hits the golf ball and he goes 4, and the ball falls and it hits this guy right in the nuts, just right in the nuts. And Rodney Dangerfield goes 4. I should have yelled 2. Tell the chef this is low grade dog food. This is my dad's favorite movie, and now my dad's not super into movies. But he did choose a good favorite movie. This is a classic. Bill Murray's awesome in this. Rodney Dangerfield, Chevy Chase, who I would not want to meet. He seems like a jerk, but he's good in this. This is just, you got to watch it. Caddyshack is hilarious. All right, Call Me by Your Name. This is a beautiful film, and when you watch it, you're just like, I feel like I can smell the fruits there, and it is a very, it's beautifully shot. It is beautifully shot and beautifully acted as well. Chalamet, I think, so far has actually given his career best in this. I'm a little disappointed I have not seen him match this since then, because he's really good in this. And Armie Hammer, this is easily his best role. But this is a love story. The only problem with this movie is, again, like, it's long and it's a love story, and long I don't really care about, but love stories I don't love. So I don't want to rewatch this a ton, but it is beautifully made, and the ending is good. And Michael, what's his name, Stolberg? Oh my God, the scene where he's talking to Chalamet, you'll know it when you see it. Ah, oh, so good, so good. I mean, it is beautifully crafted, and I love looking at the shots. They're aesthetically pleasing, and the acting's great. The writing's pretty good. It's just a little plotting, It's like, okay, you're making love, we got it. All right. So we'll do the second and last one. Now, this is The Campaign. Now, this is definitely not one of the better movies. Most people don't love this movie. I don't love it either. As soon as the shelf gets tight, this will be on the chopping block. But it actually, I think, is kind of underrated. It is kind of funny. I think it's better than most comedies that come out now, even if there are even any comedies that come out now. But yeah, this is a fun one. Will Ferrell's good. Zach Galifianakis good. Kind of lampooning the political process. It's absurd. It's nonsense, but you know, it's solid. It's solid. If you see it on streaming, you got nothing better. Now, last one for this video. I wanted to end on a banger. I actually switched. Capote. Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie is awesome. This movie is awesome. It's slow. It's a slow burn, and it's a character study, and it's not exactly true. I know. I kind of looked into this movie. And it didn't quite go down like that. Nonetheless, as a narrative, as a story, it's brilliant. And Philip Seymour Hoffman, I mean, one of my favorite actors of all time. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman, and this is one of his best roles. This is about, of course, Truman Capote, the author of In Cold Blood, and amongst other books, I guess novels. He sort of did what do they call it? Not historical novels. True crime. I think he was sort of the beginning of true crime. And this is the study about, what is their name? Some farm family gets brutally murdered by these two people. And then Truman Capote sort of investigates this for his book In Cold Blood. And then as he's doing this, he's a gay man. He falls in love with one of the perpetrators, one of the defendants, one of the murderers, really. So it sort of explores that tension. It talks about writing too, and I think it's great. This is just a beautiful film. A good Bennett Miller directed this. He also directed Moneyball and Foxcatcher. I'm a little disappointed. I haven't seen much from him. I don't know if he punched Harvey Weinstein in the face or something, but what? But if you are a Philip Seymour Hoffman fan, you simply cannot ignore his Oscar-winning performance, and rightfully so, in this. This movie is worth watching for Philip Seymour Hoffman alone, and Bennett Miller is one of my favorite directors, so it's an added bonus that his direction is excellent. It is a slow burn, but it pays off in the end. Beautiful film, and you get to make fun of Philip Seymour Hoffman and Truman Capote's voice in this. So, again, this was just a fun video, guys. So, we will be continuing the Gebser series and the Rationalism series, but I don't want to just do that. Let's be integral, shall we? And let's show other things. And, I have a bunch of different aspects of me. Now, of course, I'm not going to share all of them. But it's stuff like movies and music and literature. Yeah, why not, right? I think it's fun. So let me know if you guys want me to continue this. Let me know if you guys want to see me do the same thing when we're done here with my record collection. And hopefully you guys can keep hanging out on the channel. And I appreciate all the new subscribers who have joined. You are welcome here, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to check me out. So thank you guys. You guys are the best. I love you all, and hopefully we can do more of these if you guys are interested. Thank you guys.